Everyone needs therapy.
Everyone does need therapy.
This is Renee.
And this is Irina. And you're listening to Honey, I'm Healing. So, does this feel like the first time again?
Yeah, except I'm in a completely different setting.
Me too. Gracie's sleeping upstairs, Matt and Lockie are downstairs, so I've been kicked outside pretty much.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It looks like a beautiful day in Tennessee.
It is so nice. It stormed all night. We were on the balcony last night drinking hot tea and just watching the storm and lightning, and it was thundering. It was incredible.
It is finally starting to cool off here. I think it's like 65 today. So it feels like fall. And yeah, I'm obviously not at home. I'm in Wisconsin right now. Hence the hunting decor, but
I love it so much.
What do you
Is
do?
church in Wisconsin?
no, it was in Minnesota, but we're doing some stuff out at the farm today. So we're here now to do some
Okay.
chores, I guess.
Fun. Homesteading. Love it.
Yeah, yeah.
I speaking of fall really quick, yesterday went to Dutch Bros and got the first pumpkin drink of the season. So excited. Do you like Dutch Bros?
Never been. We don't have them up here.
Okay, we'll go when you come.
Okay.
It's pretty good. You
Yeah.
just got to really tone down the sweetness, but it's good. And then I really need to talk to you about this because I have, for the first time ever, gone past the first episode, have started watching Gilmore Girls. I'm almost done with season 1. I know your reaction. So I...
Okay, I need to know your thoughts because this is like a canon event.
I know, and it's like perfect because I've started watching it like at 6 o'clock in the morning, like when the whole house is quiet, before Haven's even up, like just to really start my day like soft and fall-y because Gilmore Girls is all autumn. I don't know how every season happens to just be fall. So I love it. I think as I progress more into it, I would love to start talking more about like what I think of each of them and like their relationship because yeah.
I cannot wait. So for those of you who don't know our friendship, I've been trying to get Irina to watch the show for our entire friendship. I grew up watching it. So this is a big, big deal and I could not be more excited. And I want to,
I think like if you watched Gilmore Girls in the early 2000s, which I did not because I didn't even know English when the dang show came out, like
I'll give it to you.
So I didn't have parents that watched it. But now if you watch it now and like you're just, it's hard to kind of get into it in the first few episodes because she's 32 in the show, you
Isn't
know?
that crazy? We're almost
and
her
in real
age.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she's my age and I'm like I look at her and I'm like, okay, I can imagine my mom at that time also being maybe around 35-ish, 33-ish. I'm comparing her to my mom and I'm like, okay, if I watched this back then, I would think she's a young mom. Like a really cool young mom. The way Lorelai dressed, the way she talked, I'm so into her personality. I'm into her little comments here and there. It's great.
She never lost her sense of individuality, and I really appreciate that about her. And even as the show progresses, she's still like very much the same character, and I really like that. So I can't wait for you. I'm super excited. Yeah. And one of the things that I've thought about actually recently, it's funny that you bring that up, is how like I'm gonna have my own little Rory, and I have thought about that. So that's crazy. Like, just the specialness of having a daughter. And, like, I can't wait.
Do you like that name? I could totally
Rory?
see you naming Lorelai.
Oh, yeah. But John would for sure be like, heck no.
Okay. Ask him real quick.
Oh, he's not around. He's out in the backyard burning things with a flamethrower. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Much more important things. Sorry.
Yeah. Very masculine, manly things, yes.
Well, keep doing it, John.
Yeah. So I did start reading a new book. and I am very, like, I just started it, so, but I would love to unpack some of it with you in a later episode. But it's called Expecting Better by Emily Oster.
Okay. Haven't heard of it.
And so she's an economist, and she talks about pregnancy through the lens of like microeconomics or macroeconomics, the way that an economist would think, which basically she sums up as it's up to, like, everybody should have the facts and the data, but it's up to the person digesting that data to assign value to it, or to, like, basically decide to agree or disagree with it. Mm-hmm. So her approach is, I just want to present you with the data and then you decide from there. And I really appreciate that, because I think there's so many people, especially in the pregnancy space, who are trying to convince you one way or the other, and it is overwhelming. How
data on what?
Well, just like is sushi okay? Or like, how much weight should I gain? Or how much, like, if I go over 200 milligrams of coffee.
So just pregnancy in general, like everything we go through.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I was thinking, what were some of, like, the crazy things that people told you during pregnancy that you were just like, no?
I think probably like stuff like that. I didn't find it crazy, but I think I broke all the rules.
Oh, you for sure did, because I remember the Jimmy John's, and then
you were with me, yeah.
But I appreciate that about you, because you're just like, no, I'm gonna live my life, and like nothing kind of scared you, it seems like.
Well, I think it's just being mindful of where the risks lie. Like, granted, I will not be stopping at a little deli on the side of the road where I can tell the meat's been open and flies have been on it. Like, common sense goes a long way. And
it does.
I think, like, obviously doctors and professionals who tell us not to, like, eat deli and certain things, one, really much do so say it because it is possible to get, a bacterial infection that the baby cannot survive from. So totally valid, but also I think also a big part of it is, like, liability.
Yeah.
And then two, like, no, it is good info. I think it's just most people probably don't have common sense to find out whether Jimmy John's and the deli on the side of the road are comparable. So
yeah, I think to kind of piggyback off of that, one of my things has been soft serve ice cream, because there's a risk of listeria.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that was one thing that I heard, where people were like, you can't or don't have soft serve ice cream because there's a risk of listeria.
Is it because it's not, like, frozen all the way? Or
I think, and it's just like the parts of the machine, or it's not fully pasteurized, or I mean, I clearly don't care enough to research why, because I'm just like, okay, what are the facts behind, like, what are the numbers of how much this affects children, or when was the last listeria outbreak because of soft serve ice cream?
Yeah.
But again, it kind of goes back to, like, I wouldn't just go to, like, any place to get an ice cream cone. I would go somewhere that I've been before, I trust, I know, yada, yada, yada. So
exactly. And that's where the common sense plays. I do tend to err. I tended to err on, like, the side of caution, but use your brain,
Yeah. Did you have anyone reach out to rub your belly?
Older people in my life. That's it. And
I've had one.
I let them. I'm like, how many bellies do you get to rub? Whatever. Go for it.
I've had one person do it, and I mean, I'm not big enough to really be like,
that's weird. I think that's strange.
So I'm just like, you're rubbing my cheeseburger that I just ate. You're not rubbing my baby.
Or rubbing my last sandwich I had.
My last Jimmy John sandwich.
Yeah, that would be weird as compared to, like, being, 35 weeks and like feeling the toe and the foot and like the kick. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny. What have you read that like you're so like absolutely not going to break that rule, not going to go there?
Alcohol, although I did.
Oh, yeah.
I did have a sip yesterday. That's one of the things that she talks about too. It literally on the front cover, it says drinking safely during pregnancy. Now, I don't care what the data says. Like, I wasn't a big drinker anyway. You know this about me.
Yeah.
But John had an old fashioned yesterday, and I was like, I've never had one. And he's like, well, just take a sip, you know?
Yeah.
And I had a sip at our wedding, but what's that going to do? like
No.
Nothing. So.
Absolutely not. But here, you know, the day before I found out I was pregnant with Lockie, can't tell you how many Bloody Marys and oyster shots and oysters I had in Boston.
You lived it up, and that's...
And then the next day I was like, oh my gosh. I actually have the funniest story to tell you. Okay. So I thought I was pregnant this weekend.
What?
Yeah, it would be like a very slim chance, but like a miracle. But like somehow every child has been a miracle baby for us.
Yeah.
And Matt was in Nashville. I went out with Olga, and I had both Lockie and Gracie. And so I met Olga at Abridged, which is like a burger beer place, and they have this really good cider. And I was like, oh, I really want a cider. It's like, Olga, I'll get there. When I get there, let me nurse Gracie in the car before we go in, because I really want to drink a cider. But also, like, just a warning, I have to go pick up a pregnancy test quick, because I'm like 2 weeks late, and I took one at home, and it was like a very faint line, and Matt was like, oh no, that's just like the evaporation line. He's like, here, watch, try it with water. And then he did it with water, and there was no evaporation line. I'm like, honey, that's a positive. That's not an evap line. Like, that's real. And he's like, oh, okay. And so he had to leave to Nashville. I was like, crap, what am I going to do? I want to go drink a cider. And so I went and bought a digital one. So it's in my purse. And when we got there, I was like, and of course she was like, what? I was like, hey, I'm going to go take a test really quick, and I'll come back. And so if you've ever taken a digital one, it like loads. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like this was a movie, like in a movie moment.
It's the longest 3 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This was the most candid thing ever, because I went to the bathroom, I come back and sit at our table, and the waitress comes up, and it's like the bag is in my lap. And you know, Olga here knows what's going on the whole time, and like poor waitress doesn't. The bag's in my lap, the test is right there, I kind of have it hidden. And I'm like looking at it, Olga's ordering, and I'm like, okay, it's like halfway there. And I'm like, okay, come on, it's loading. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, hey, I really want cider. Like, I don't see them. What do you guys have? She starts explaining something. I'm looking back at it. It moved one more bar. I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds really good. I think I like it. And then I'm like, is it sweet? Like, I just start asking questions. And she just like, goes on for like 1 minute about a cider. And I'm looking back, and I'm like, dang, it's still loading. I'm like, okay. She's like, do you just want to sample it? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? That'd be great. And as soon as she walks away, it goes, bing, not pregnant. And I was like, oh, okay. But it was just the funniest moment of like, like waiting to order, waiting to see if I can order a cider just by knowing if I'm pregnant or not.
That's hilarious.
And Olga the whole time is just like, oh, what is happening? As I have my 2 little kids in tow with me.
I would have been so excited if you were, though.
I would not be. Matt was thrilled. I was like, you're crazy.
Well, yeah,
anyway,
you
so that was so funny.
Literally gave birth.
Yeah. So normally when you nurse, like, you don't, like, that's your body's natural birth control.
Okay.
And I had that for 8 months with Lockie. And I got it back at 4 months with Grace, and then it went away again. So can you imagine how stressful that might be to think, oh my gosh, did the like one time again, yeah, did I get pregnant? Like,
oh my gosh.
Anyways, so that was so funny. I've been dying to tell you that story.
Oh my gosh.
But how are your pregnancy hormones?
I've been very, so I just hit 20 weeks. I have my anatomy scan tomorrow, actually. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
But I've noticed the one thing that triggers me with like crying is any kind of dog adoption video on TikTok.
In the eyes.
Oh no! Like literally, I'm showing John after the fact. I'm like, you need to see this video of this dog. Like, you know, and he's like, Renee.
You're gonna become a rescue before you know it.
Literally. Well, and then I think about Dash, because Dash is turning 10 in December.
Oh,
and that's
stop.
I know. So then I'm literally like petting him and like, I miss you already. And like,
yeah,
he is so healthy. He's so fine. He's gonna live forever. But my emotions have definitely been peaked around dogs. And then I heard that this was a thing that after you give birth, you don't like your dog anymore.
Yeah. No, it's just because you genuinely have like it, but it's not just your dog, it's everyone. You have like,
I'm already there.
Your body is like, I need to bond with this baby, and it puts all of your attention, your focus, your emotional bonding into that baby, and everyone else, they just get the kick.
Okay, that's good to know.
I think like I think what happens is you get overstimulated by the dog, because that dog is staring at you and you're like, oh, here's another thing depending on me, you know, like.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's true if you have a genuine bond, because I had like a genuine bond with Malik. Yeah. And I had Haven after. Yeah, and I just thought of that, you know, what I told you last week about Malik. I was like, yep, she probably cried on that too.
I did. I did in the voice text that I sent you. I started tearing up. I was like, I feel your pain. I'm an empath.
It's his birthday in 5 days.
Oh. Well, we're gonna have to celebrate and do something fun.
I will. But I think if you have already like a strong, I feel like most people don't really actually have strong bonds with their dogs. They just love them, but like it's not like their baby. I feel like if you get a dog when you're younger and you have no kids, and like actually if you get an animal when you have no kids, I think it's so much easier to bond to that animal first.
For sure.
And I'm sure you could agree.
Yeah, I mean, Dash has been with me through the thick and the thin of my life. Like, I grew up with him, so I know that when his time does come, it's going to be very hard on me. Yeah. And I don't envy that day. And it's very front of mind for me, I think. Just with the circle of life kind of happening in my womb, I think. I don't know. Anyway.
I don't think you have anything to worry about. I think if anything, it's going to push you closer. For sure.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't have any other, like, I mean, I have been having horrible back pain lately. And I know that that's common, but so John put out a foam roller for me the other day, and I'm like rolling on it, laying on it, and my stomach is stretching, and I'm like, is this hurting her? Oh my gosh, is this hurting her? And like those kinds of little things. And I'm just like, no. She's fine. People literally
She's so like, cocooned.
Yeah, I'm like, people literally walked, 50 miles back in the olden days and faced treacherous weather. She's fine if I stretch on a foam roller,
Yeah.
Like
like on your belly? Your back?
I was on my back. I would never like face down.
You're fine.
No. Yeah. So. But,
you're fine. I feel like the most like physical thing that you shouldn't do when stretching, working out your body, is anything that could kind of tear your abs, because they're already so vulnerable right now. That's probably the most vulnerable, from what I remember, vulnerable part or muscle in your body.
I couldn't do a sit-up if I tried right now.
Well, you
should.
I
think I'm good. I should.
No, not a sit-up.
Oh, yeah, no.
You can do like the hugs, the bear hugs, where you like push your tummy out, like you get on all fours and you push your tummy out and you suck it in, like just things that kind of like hold your abs all together.
I'm so uneducated when it comes to muscular anatomy that I'm literally over here like, I didn't know our abs could stretch apart.
So I see that sport goal is not going well.
It's honestly, it takes everything in me to try to get 10,000 steps a day.
10,000?
Yeah, even in second trimester when I have more energy, it's like my back hurts, my boobs hurt, everything hurts. But I still know that it's important to be active. Mm-hmm. So we do try. That's part of the reason that we're out here right now, is so that we can go walk around the fields.
Do you feel like you're, well, and that's part of getting the support you need. Do you feel like you're getting all the support you need?
Yeah, I do. Okay. I've picked a good one this time around. Mm-hmm. You know, he is very genuine and very cautious. I would probably say a little bit too cautious, but it's because he cares. Like, if I drink a coffee, he'll be like he's very anti-coffee. And it's a huge...
Even decaf?
Well, he's okay with decaf, but I'm not okay with decaf.
Do you feel like you need the caffeine?
Yeah, I think it's a stimulation thing for my brain. And it's like the only stimulant that I can have without being on my ADHD medication right now. And that's been really hard. And this is the first time that he's seen me kind of prolonged without taking my medication. Mm-hmm. So he's seeing a completely different side of me, which is wonderful, but also very difficult because I'm scrolling on my phone more to get dopamine, and, you know, there's just things that he's noticing. But he's been really, really supportive through everything, very great. He's been at all of my doctor's appointments. So I feel like I hit the jackpot for partners who are very supportive.
Yeah, and you have your village there too.
Yeah. But we went to Houston.
Yep.
And it was exactly the opposite of everything that I thought it would be. It reminded me a lot of Florida. In like central Florida.
Yeah.
Just, you know, and I guess you're 30 minutes from the ocean. Yeah. So I understood why there were palm trees, but there was palm trees and then pine trees right next to each other. And I go, I cannot conceptually, like, this feels like a glitch.
That's a very North Carolina and South Carolina thing too.
Yes, I could see that. So it reminded me a lot of Florida, both in climate and then in just scenery and kind of a lot of stuff. But we drove by Joel Osteen's church, and that was like the whole time.
Huge?
It was huge, and it's just one of those things where when you see how big it is and when you see where it's located, you just kind of can't wrap your head around the fact that he didn't open that place up during the flooding. And I thought about it the whole time. I'm like, how can you not, I mean, we'll not get into that, but it was beautiful. We went to this mall in the Woodlands, Texas, which is north of Houston, probably about 30 minutes. Beautiful. Yeah. But
so,
it was...
scale of 1 to 10, how excited were you about going to Houston? Being in Houston?
It's one of those things where we both unanimously agreed that could we see ourselves there one day? Like, do we think that we would enjoy living here? No. Mm-hmm. But the pros outweigh the cons in everything else.
Also, part of Houston and Texas in general, I think, one, traveling to California, Colorado, Montana.
I know.
And then the East Coast. Like, you're actually very centrally located, like, well, apart from the Northeast, but...
Yeah, so...
It's fun. I'm glad you had a fun time.
Traveled with my passport the very first time, which was fun. And then 2 days later, got my real ID in the mail. So...
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got it before my sister did. No. And she was like, what the heck? It's been delayed for months. I was like, you should probably check into that. But Do you feel like you had a supportive partner in your pregnancy?
Yeah. Wait, I said that very excitingly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did. I had the best partner. Especially first pregnancy, and then second pregnancy, like, I think with the first one, he, like, saw a lot of what I can and can't do, so, like, he really, like, took on from that. Second pregnancy was a lot more emotional. Our Pisces girl, she's still very emotional. She's very different from Lucky. But I think she absorbed all the emotions of everyone around her, and then just, like, that came out of me through my pregnancy with Gracie. But so that was fun, and I think Matt struggled with that one a bit because it's so new and it's so unlike my personality.
For sure.
Too. But postpartum, like, I guess that's where I can touch on, since you're not there yet. Like, I think partner support so important in pregnancy, and then postpartum, I think that's where it really is needed, because it's like, I think people think, oh, you're not pregnant anymore. Like, you know, when you're pregnant, everyone, like, goes out of their way to do something for you, like, a lot, because, like, they can see it tangibly. And unless you're holding the baby, like, people kind of forget that you're in this still vulnerable state and period of your life. And so Matt and I were actually talking the other day, because I was talking to him about mental load, like the mental load I have and how I need his support, and he was amazing, of course. And then we just kind of got onto the topic of, like, I really don't believe moms were meant to just take it all on their own. And in America, I feel like we do. And I feel like there's not that much support for moms. In America, I think we kind of, like, get thrown to the side. Like, moms aren't as, it's not as inclusive for moms and babies. Like, things in general to do. You go to a baseball game, there's probably not a little area for moms and babies. I don't know, just stuff like that in general, like restaurants. I can't tell you how many restaurants I go to, and there are no changing tables. Like, that's so frustrating, so annoying. Other countries are so much better at it. Australia is a million times better, I think, in just, like, supporting moms with kids. But anyways, we were just talking about it, and I was just saying how, like, I really get now why moms need a village, because I was telling him, I was like, honey, imagine, like, I just gave him, like, a random employee at his work, his HR manager. I was like, imagine, like, your HR manager drives to work with you, and then you sit in the office with them and you work all day, and then they drive home with you, and then they sit next to you while you sleep, and then you wake up and they go to the bathroom with you. Like,
yeah,
imagine that, the mental load of, like, 24/7, something that you do, but then you can't feel bad about it, because then you kind of feel guilty because they're your kids and you love them, you know. So it's just, like, the mental load of everything you need to do for the people who are dependent on you. And sometimes it gets a little exhausting. And that's where I was like, I don't think it was meant to be that way. I think, like, our kids were supposed to depend on the uncle and the grandma, and, like, moms were allowed to just, like, stop for a minute, you know, so that they could be the best versions of themselves. So we're kind of going through that, and it's good. Like, it's very positive. So making sure, I think, be very mindful of making sure some way, some form, you have a village. That might be hard if you're not around family. And
I know it would be.
People who don't.
I know it would be. And I think I know this going into it, naturally susceptible to, like, postpartum depression. So I know that going into it, like, how can I support myself or set myself up? And I know that I can go to therapy with the current therapist that I have now via telehealth, or, like, support myself that way. But I didn't realize that when you deliver your placenta, you literally have a wound internally the size of a dinner plate.
Yeah. That's why I hemorrhaged.
I just
my wound, it didn't like it didn't coagulate. Is that the word?
clot. Yeah.
Clot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gave like the medical term for it. It didn't clot. Yeah. So like that's so something that I didn't know happens until I gave birth for the first time. After you give birth, they will push on your stomach really hard.
Yeah. I heard that
and
it
hurts like a mother trucker.
Yeah.
Man. And then they'll do it every 15 minutes. The pain is gone and it's done. And then they're coming over here punching your gut. It's just not a fun time.
Can't wait. You're really selling this for me.
Anyways, I had no idea that would happen. But yeah. And then like that placenta, like once it's gone, it feels like just that sudden, that huge drop of hormones. Like the baby blues for the first 2 weeks. It was so weird. I would cry when the sun would go down.